Kyochek Gemba he has to spend some time farming right now because fight after fight that you take that you don't win, you're not getting any further ahead. And Shadow Fiend is meant to be really far ahead in net worth. Make no mistake about it. Him being somewhat even here with the gyrocopter means that he's actually quite far behind. Because remember at the beginning of the game, he had the stacks to go back to, he had the jungle, he solo pushed 2 towers, and so he should naturally be more ahead than this.
SNY complete for Illidan. Looks like we're going to have a BKB being picked up by God fairly early on, but I'm just not sure if they want to wait for that. They've got the ultimate of the Dragon Knight ready to go. In fact, it's about to hit its level 2 form. So if they want, they could go for a 5-man push into that middle lane. But is it a good idea? Perhaps trying to pick off somebody beforehand, especially with Reincarnation up on KYXY. Perhaps it's just a bit too forward to go for a fight.
You don't necessarily have to just 5-man straight down, but if you look at Fnatic's lineup, they don't have the best lineup to defend with. Their Shadow Fiend still doesn't have a BKB, so even with an SNY, he's not very tanky. All of VP are pretty much set in position. They have full mana, full HP. They don't have a mech of their own, but it's not really necessary because they have the Shadow Wave. And Fnatic simply just don't want to take a fight. I think they doubt their ability to be able to kill Illidan twice.
Starting off with the stun. Here comes the charge on the side. They're going to go for Johnny. The call down is there. They're going to catch out Mushi. He won't be able to get off the Song of Siren. He dies immediately after he gets popped. Now Ohio throws out the wall. Good vacuum on it too, but there's just no more offense left. Echo Slam finishes off him. They managed to take away that Aegis, but Kyochek Gemba is going to be a little bit caught. KYXY trying to go for DK Phobos, but a beautiful Fisher block once again from Lil. Make sure that there's no escape for Fnatic. They drop 4 once again, and all they take is the Dazzle as well as the Aegis away from that gyrocopter. Another great team fight from VP.
Oh, and I actually think Fnatic messed up there where KYXY had his ultimate, I think, but didn't have enough mana to use it, but I don't think it would have mattered. He was pretty dead in that situation, and once again, they decided to take a fight where they pretty much can't win. Yes, they got the gyrocopter Aegis, but it's not like he died again, and they didn't get any objectives off of that. VP managed to take down the mid tower, meaning their smoke ganks are going to be even more successful, and they have even more dominant control of the jungle, because they can approach from 2 different areas. They can come around from here, they can enter from here, and even from here, and so if they decide to ward up there, Fnatic's going to have a hard-pressed time to catch up, because the Shadow Fiend relies so heavily on jungling to get back into this game.
Now, I also feel like Fnatic have really lost their timing to go for the Song of Siren initiations. I mean, this is very much a potential wombo combo where they can lead with the Song of Siren, offensively set up for a big vacuum, Light Strike Array, and SF ultimate, and just AoE cleave down a couple of heroes. But with the BKBs coming in very soon for VP, it seems that timing is no longer going to be an option. Both the DK and the Gyrocopter will be able to instantly pop their BKBs outside of a Song. So at this point, it seems Fnatic have to go for a heavy split push, as it's very clear by now that they can't win team fights.
Yeah, VP have demonstrated time and time again that they can win fights. They're about to get a BKB on their gyrocopter. If G wants one, he's about to grab one himself. This is the crucial timing that I talk about. Once you get the double BKB on your course, you can pretty much just march down whatever lane you want and take the fight. So no matter what, there's nothing that Fnatic can really do to contest that. You could maybe Song of the Siren net 1 hero, but the dual power of the Gyrocopter and the Dragon Knight should be enough. Yeah. There's not enough physical damage on the side of Fnatic to deal with it. You've got a Dragon Knight that's got a ton of armor, same with Illidan, and they're actually just going to smoke up and go for it because they realize they've got the BKB on the Dragon Knight. You're not going to wait for the Aegis on the Gyrocopter or anything like that because he's demonstrated that he's not having trouble living in these fights.
With both middle lane and top lane being pushed into that tier 2 tower, it seems Fnatic do get the read that there is a smoke from VP. So that's why they back up and go for a smoke of their own. Hoping to get that pick off. They draw the line. They're going to head into the enemy jungle here with Mushi leading the charge. He doesn't have Song of Siren, but it is up in 15 seconds. They start going uphill, placing some wards ahead of them. See if they can't get that pick off. It's going to be deep in VP territory. I feel like this fight, if it goes wrong for Fnatic, they may never have the opportunity to come back. They're going to leave the DK Phobos, blows them up immediately. Now the call down comes in, and Fnatic are going to be slowed down, but VP are not going to pursue. They accept the one tap, and they'll go ahead and just back themselves up. Perhaps even giving up this tier 2 in the middle lane.
I don't know if you want to give up the tier 2 in the middle lane. I guess you don't have call down, but you still have the BKB on your Dragon Knight, and your Earthshaker can just spam Fissure if he wants and make it really difficult for them to push. But if you're Fnatic, you don't really have a better option right now. You have all your ultimates there's not a BKB coming on anybody, and you need the tower gold to be able to get a blink dagger on KYXY. And so I think this is an okay attempt by them, but they have to be careful. You can't overextend and lose any more than what you already have so far in this game. And they should be able to take down this tier 2, but it's most likely going to get denied, and they should be okay with that and just try to get out. But
ooh, they're actually going to go for the pursuit here. Smoke up with the charge coming in as well. They want to be able to get as close as possible with the call down coming in as well. They do have a good opportunity. Looks like Kenchigimba's going to be the first one locked down by DK Phobos. Meanwhile, the rest of the fight, Illidan is able to take out the Lina immediately. Kenchigimba also going down as well. They need a couple more right clicks. God just isn't there in time. Now Kenchigimba going for the TP out. Lil sees him for half a second, but can't get the stun in time. So Virtus Pro only get the one pick off in the support, and that's it. But at the very least, they did manage to force Fnatic back, and they did get that denied in the tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and it's actually really cool to see Fnatic just continue to go for these fights, because I did think they were disadvantaged there, but I think they realized the position they're in. They have to force VP back. They have to at least force VP to see a different look, because if you just let VP smoke up into your jungle repeatedly, and you lose core heroes by being picked off, you're probably going to lose in that way anyways. And so it's better to at least get aggressive, try to create opportunities for yourself, and open up the map a little bit more. And by taking that mid tier 2, they definitely accomplished that, but at the same time, I question whether or not Fnatic can hold this fight. The Dragon form is down by VP, and so I believe VP is just going to back off with this Rita farm.
Yeah, at the same time, on the flip side, I really like the choice of Virtus Pro to not go for that fight. To just see the tier 2 essentially away to Fnatic. They gave away all that tower damage because of the fact that they hadn't yet finished up the Gyrocopter's BKB, and they've got that Blink Dagger coming in so soon for the Earthshaker. If you took that fight and lost it, you would be kicking yourself for not waiting out those very key team fight items.
Yeah, they're just going to do the ancients together, and I think EP are pretty comfortable with how this goes. You've seen how powerful being on the dire side is. FNG has medallions, going for the Roche fight is incredibly easy for them. They have a Dragon Knight, a Gyrocopter with a medallion, and it's a small enclosed area for an Earthshaker to fight in. And the Aegis is going to be up anytime soon, and they've got double BKB on their cores. With the Aegis, I think that's where you go for all the tier 2s that Fnatic have.
Fnatic left with very few options, especially since they've only got one more smoke left. After they use this one, they are going to be down for a good 3.5 minutes. Virtus Pro, with that charge, they force the SF, TP back, and now they're just really hoping to be able to secure Roshan right now, which is up in just 15 seconds. The rest of Fnatic farming away. We do have that Blink Dagger now on KYXY, and he has his level 2 reincarnation. Blink Dagger is up on Ohio as well. That could definitely make a big difference in these team fights if he can catch the right heroes. The problem is still going to be those BKBs.
Yeah, it's still going to make a lot of sense for him to get it, though. If he can get the vacuum initiation in the Roche pit fight, that would be huge. And Fnatic, with this one smoke, they have to get so much out of this. This Roche fight has to be incredibly successful for them, and that's why I think you opt to go for the Blink Dagger all in for this fight if you can. Fnatic is well aware that the Roshan is about to be up, but I don't even think VP cares because they have to start moving now.
Fnatic, they just push out that middle lane, smoke up, and now heading for the Roshan pit, but it's already below half HP, especially with that medallion. It's going to be dropping fast. The Naga Siren Illusion is going to be leading the way. It spots out that Roshan is incredibly low, but Fnatic took a bit of a detour. They hit it up into the middle lane. Now they make the jump in. Saga Siren, but it's too late. Already the Aegis is down. They're going to throw down the wall and try and take this fight anyway. Kenchigimba goes for the ultimate Echo Slam, interrupts. Kenchigimba, he's going to be blown up before he gets anything off, and now the fight looks disastrous as double BKBs are popped. They're ignoring KYXY. His reincarnation is blown, and the rest of Virtus Pro just looking forward. Fnatic. Ohio's going to be going down next to the creeps. KYXY with a blink TP away will be the only survivor there for Fnatic. Desperation seems to be striking the Southeast Asian team as they go for yet another team fight inside that Roshan pit, but it doesn't fare any better than the previous ones.
Yeah, that was just a little bit of miscommunication. As the Darkseer goes in, the Song of the Siren is popped at the same time, so his vacuum was rendered null. They didn't really get anything off like they wanted to. The Shadow Fiend just simply can't get his ultimate off. If you notice, Lil had the perfect timing there. As soon as the sleep was over, no hesitation, blinks into the Roshan pit, throws down the Echo Slam. Kenchigimba gets slain immediately, and VP are just out-coordinating Fnatic in these team fights. And, I mean, KYXY is going to go in, but can he actually do anything?
Yeah, he doesn't have the reincarnation, so he's got to play careful here. Shallow Grave being placed on Illidan. The ensnare's going to still catch him, and Fnatic desperately need to be able to make this fight work for them. 3-man vacuum, but you already have the Spirit Breaker just charging deep in, making himself a target. Fire Breath comes through, Fnatic actually dropping a little bit low. Illidan in the background, there goes the Laguna Blade to take him out, but at just the ages. KYXY trying to toggle as best as possible. Lil is going to be caught, but another great Shallow Grave keeps them alive. The back out, call down, still going to be able to catch Mushi here, and Illidan charging in without fear. Really wants to be able to clean up this support. Gets a little bit closer, but now he is being kited. No, nice use there. The flat cannon manages to catch Mushi in the end for a godlike spree on Illidan, and the dive past the tier 3 tower works out to VP's favor.
And they've almost got an Assault Cuirass on G. And we questioned earlier teams that were unable to get to the high ground, but VP have many different ways to get to the high ground. Illidan's so farmed, he's got a ton of stats. He still has a 9-second BKB. G's about to pick up a DD rune and an Assault Cuirass. At the same time, something we really haven't talked about is the sheer amount of levels that this Dragon Knight is getting. He's almost level 16.
A critical level, right?
Yeah, if you thought getting into a fight against VP's team was going to be difficult before, now you've got the Blue Dragon to deal with. That's actually what it's called, by the way. It's like the least creative name. It's just called the Blue Dragon. I thought it was called like the Frost Dragon or anything, but nope. Just the Blue Dragon.
He's going to have the Assault Cuirass coming in soon. Physical damage just won't mean anything to him. Perhaps that's okay with Fnatic because they still don't have very much physical damage at all. Shadow Fiend's still rocking just the S&Y, and Wraith King only has, jump in, catching Imba in a bit of trouble. He's going to be chain locked and taken out with the double damage. They will be able to get the turnaround kill on Lil, but it's still not worth it.
Johnny's actually
with
stuck.
Johnny. He's stuck in the trees, and God, trying to catch up. Looks like Johnny's going to be able to get some distance out, and G just kind of lets him go. He knows he's not going to be able to catch up to that support. Still a favorable trade for VP.
Yeah, every single time that you take down the Shadow Fiend, he just continues to struggle. He needs that BKB desperately. But I'm not too panicked for Fnatic yet. They still have a BKB potentially on their Shadow Fiend. They can still hit that GG combo with vacuum into the Lina stuff. There's a lot of different ways for them to come back into this game, but there's only so many poor fights that you can take before it just adds up into too much.
DK Phobos on the hunt right now with his Invis rune. What do you think about his choice here of going for the early Vlads rather than a quick BKB to make 3 Magic Immune cores?
I think they realize that Fnatic's heroes just don't deal damage, and if you stack up the armor, you've got the Vlad's aura, you've got the Assault Cuirass aura on the G, how do you actually kill any of them when they decide to BKB? Even if it's a 2v5 fight with the Naga Song and the Siren, I'm not entirely sure that Fnatic can deal enough damage to cut through it. Because Kuchikimba, his BKB should come about now, but at the same time, he still only deals about 150 a hit. That's just not going to cut it against a hero that has nearly 30 armor. He's actually got more than 30 armor.
Yes.
I misjudged him. He doesn't even have the Vlad's aura yet. He's going to have 50 armor.
He is a beast right now in Fnatic. Oh, they could be in a bad position here. They're going to go for the smoke up. Lil already sees him, missed the Fisher, but KYXY has been stunned up. They managed to get some stuns onto Lil, but KYXY is going to be sacked here. He loses the reincarnation, and the rest of Fnatic waiting to go back in. BKB is being popped now by VP with Mushi popping that Song of Siren that leaves Illidan all by himself, but he doesn't care. He's going to man mode this one out. Kenchigimbo pops his BKB, trying to go for God, but he's just too damn tanky. DK Mobiles bumping back Kenchigimbo with a charge over to the supports as well. 2-man Fisher on top of that one. Kenchigimba is on the escape at the same time. Mushi maybe sacrifices the gyrocopter. Kenchigimba playing around with these centaurs, trying to clear through them. Echo Slam gets laid out. He goes down. And now the chase continues for Johnny with a charge on top. He's not going anywhere. It's only Ohio, the offlaner, who will survive once again. Fnatic just shy of getting team wiped.
Yeah, that's 4 for 0 right now as VP just completely dominates that fight. And that's what I'm talking about. When VP decide to pop the BKBs, even with the Song of the Siren, they just have to play defensively because they're struggling so hard to deal any sort of damage. You noticed even the Wraith King had to just back up, run into a corner. He didn't really know what to do, and that's even without the Aegis. And so